what is it I'm actually seeing as an organizational initiative? What are the steps? What are what are the organization types? The name or the innocent, or sometimes you can always also call as a foolish one. These are essentially organizations which somewhere someone would have started thinking that I am immune to change. Nothing will happen to me. I am unconquerable. I am going to exist as long as the universe exists. And I do not take any kind of medication, whether I'm having a small fever or the person has been diagnosed with a high level of cancer of whatever kind. Eventually, what happens due to all of these kind of thoughts that nothing is going to happen to me, it happens that there is a small uncertainty, and all these uncertainty factors get overlooked, and an overlook in the uncertainty factor cascades from the analysis stage towards a design stage, towards a build stage, towards a test stage, and when the overall deliverable happens, you can rest assured that the company itself is not going to exist. Once upon a time, there was an IT boom. Everybody thought IT is here to stay. So many companies, left, right, and corner, started mushrooming. Here and there they came. And one fine day, when Lehman Brothers announced that they are bankrupt, I can rest assured that there are around 600 to 800 companies which completely went off the radar. What happened? Did they account for uncertainties? They thought IT was there to stay without looking at how IT can be sustained. So basically, sustainability is the phase. So this is what you call as the naive or the innocent or the foolish organization. These kind of organizations typically start and they perish. Sometimes you can also call them as fly-by-night organizations. They start today and tomorrow they vanish. So you need to understand what is this foolish or what kind of organization. Okay. The second is a bit better than the naive organization, which is called as a novice organization. The novice organization thinks that 50-50 factor is there for us to stay. I am successful to 50%, I am immune to risk 50%. What happens? He does half risk management, half hearted aspects of uncertainty management. As a result of this, half baked food is cannot be consumed because half baked food is not good. It is not going to satisfy the end customer. Half baked product, half successful product, half initiative. The work is half done, sir. It is not going to be in earth or heaven. It is going to hang in between. What happens? Eventually, this kind of organization is also not going to survive for a long time. But definitely, for a matters, this naive organization, if it survives for 3 months, this novice organization, let us say, will survive for 6 or 7 months. If they adopt corrective measures, then they go into the next step, what you call as a normalized organization. I'm going to explain the concept of a normalized organization. So, is it clear on what is a naive organization and the novice organization? The naive is what you call as an innocent organization or sometimes a foolish organization where they think they know everything and one fine day they perish. The novice organization is a half-learned organization. They think they know everything. And once they encounter the battlefield of Kurukshetra, they find that you are fighting with seasoned Maharathis. They don't even know how to wear an armor. They just start the battle, and the first day of the battle, they are eliminated. Okay? The normalized organization has a reasonable level of maturity. They have seen failures. They know that it is not easy to stand success in a commanding environment. So, as a matter of fact, they do everything possible to ensure that this naive behavior and this novice behavior is cut down. But still, uncertainty is not managed completely. It is done by a third party organization or some within some unit internal to the organization, which means to say that they are not fully acceptant in acceptance to the fact that this risk management is something that the organization has to own. So as a result of this, the overall outcome tends to be lesser than what is expected, though the organization may not have failure aspects as far reaching as the naive or the novice one. Coming to that, sir. Coming to that. Coming to that. Is it clear? I am coming to your question, sir. The naive organization, the novice organization perish. The normalized organization have a longer endurance limit because they adopt proper or I should say at least reasonably good level uncertainty management techniques. And as a result of these techniques, the overall success factor is better guaranteed. At least the customer is willing to invest in your place because at least he has got some structures in place which will ensure that the serving organization will not vanish. This is one of the reasons why customers from the American regions or the Europe see our nation as a good area, a good region to invest because they know that the land laws are reasonably strong. The customer will not be bankrupt because he is invested here. This serving organization will not run away. And all the more, if you look at this from a long-term perspective, there have been a couple of bankruptcies in our nation. But if you look at it, the way bankruptcies handled in our nation versus the ones in the American region or in the European region, there is a reasonable level of mergers. It accounted for a lot of pain in the wrong place for all the bank employees. But one important takeaway by these bank mergers is at no point in time was the customer put to discomfort. There was a merger of the P&Ls. A bank A became Bank B, and Bank A, Bank B, and Bank C became Bank D. But what happened is the funding aspects of the overall banking process remained intact. The bank did not capsize. Now, all these thought processes eventually give rise to what is called as a natural kind of an organization, or in some instances, which is also called as an organization which knows how to deal with risks. They have seen the naive organizations perish. They have seen the novice organizations stumble and perish because they did not take the lessons learned. And they have also been normalized organizations at a point in time. And because they have got their learnings written on stone and in their DNA, they know that if you do not predict uncertainties today, your competitor organization will predict your uncertainties and he will take away your business, and he knows the correct strictures and balances will be there in the organization. So even before the entire outbreak of COVID was there in the nation, there was a lockdown which was announced, which means to say that I know that this is going to have far-reaching impacts. Shut down operations, shut down, capsize all operations. It is going to result in some losses. We can always take care of the losses, but not at the loss of life. That is one of the instances of what's a natural thinking of an organization. In some instances, this natural organization is also what you call as a learning organization or learning outcome organization. One of the best examples of learning outcome organization which we see today is Indian Space Research Organization, the Defense R&D, the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, and of course, Vikram Sarabhai Satellite Center, General Electric, Rolls-Royce, Pratt& and Whitney, Airbus, Boeing. Each of these organizations is what you call as a natural organization because they have seen failures. And the minute they have seen failures, they know this is not the way to deal with failure. Change the route. If route A does not work, change the route to route B. Don't try to dwell on route A. You are dwelling into more and more failures. Clear? Before I actually get into the details of risk management, I will just touch upon quickly because we have more or less clocked 5:15 right now. So let us actually get into the quick aspects of the steps of risk management. I will not get into the details on account of the time factor. The first step is about understanding the planning aspects of risk management, identifying the risks in project, program, and portfolio activities, perform a qualitative analysis. In other words, get to understand the high, medium, low aspect of risks, perform the quantitative analysis. The risk is low and the impact factor is zero point 0.5. The risk is high. The impact factor is going to be 0.75. The impact factor is very high. The impact factor, the metric is going to be 1.5. The minute I put low, medium, high with numbers, it becomes a quantitative measurement. Then I perform a risk response. In other words, I get to understand what kind of steps I need to take to get the risk responses in action. It so happens that in some organizations, the person who's going to perform the risk response may not have the right level of clinical authority. He may have to escalate this to his senior person or to his management representative who will be able to provide that power. That is what we call as implementation of the risk response. So risk response, if not done properly, is going to be a half-baked outcome. So as such, what you need to do, the cycle of risk management is broken if you do not implement a risk response. And once I implemented a risk response, there comes a perennial activity of monitoring and controlling the risk. Please take it from me, any project, program or portfolio, any activity, if not monitored, cannot be controlled. If monitoring and control cannot be done, the outcome is going to be haphazard. Do not even think about the success factor unless you are destined to work on a project which is definitely going to fail. Clear? Now let us attempt the $1 billion question, €1 billion question, trillion rupee question. Which do you think is the most important of all of this? Is it budget cost, or is it going to be the scope, or is it going to be the schedule? I leave it to you. Take 2 minutes of your time, think internally, and let me know which of this is the really important one. Think over it and just type it out for us. All are equal. Oh man, you are saying that everything is equal. In front of God, everyone is equal. What else? Cost and scope are equal. Scope is different. Okay, correct, correct. But there is one point which I am looking here, which is something that is completely non-negotiable. Do you think scope is non-negotiable in some organization? We can decide, right? Quality is non-negotiable, fine. Now, I will give about an example on this. Let us say I go to a restaurant, okay? I order tea, and that person comes and gives you, and he says it will take 5 minutes for him to prepare tea and give it to us, right? Quality is important, agree. Shiko Shiva, right? I know you're from the quality background, I know that. Now he says, I will bring you tea within 5 minutes. Even after 15 minutes of time, tea is not delivered. Will you be happy with this restaurant? He says 5 minutes and he comes to you after 15-20 minutes, and then he says the tea leaf stock or the tea powder stock is down, because of which he had to run to the opposite shop, and all of that person was preparing tea, he took to some illness, and then you got tea after 30 minutes. Will you ever come to that hotel for the rest of your life? Okay. Yes. Now I will ask you one more question. Can you manage time? Can you manage time? Oh, Sripati sir, I need to talk to you how to manage time, sir, because I do not know how to manage time. Okay. How many of us really feel that we can all manage time? Actually speaking, I have a difference of opinion. It is time which is managing all the creations under itself, be it living or non-living. The one thing which we can realistically manage is schedule, which is a small portion of time or a small quarter of time, which explains the importance of how scheduling is important in all our activities. Now tell me, what is the winner? The scope can be negotiated. The customer shall be happy. Then or that, the customer is always there to shout. That can always be taken. Okay, offline. Cost. The customer shall be willing to budget more or less whatever. Please let me know which customer will be happy if you give him something which he wanted today, 2 months down the line. Is he going to pay for the 2 months spillover? There's a saying in our local Tamil dialect, right? Arina kanji, paranganji. That is a gruel which is gone cold is old. The cost of preparing that gruel is something which has to be done away with. It will have to be written off. Sunk cost, opportunity cost, all of this will be washed down the drain. So the overall idea in understanding what the basis of risk management is about understanding what customer really wants and not what the customer wants. If the customer says, I want the moon, we need to at least have a rocket to go to the moon, right? Does the customer really want to go to the moon? This is going to explain the importance of understanding the requirements and the risk associated in delivering the requirements, so that it becomes natural for us to think what a customer wants on his or her shoes, by virtue of which you consistently deliver, build in a circle of continuous improvement, and deliver value the first time, the next time, and every time. So until now, I have covered a primer to the entire chapter on enterprise risk management. As I told you, from the Project Management Institute, the entire session will be about 36 hours. But I have tried to fit the key aspects of what risk management is all about, so that we can get started on how we can start implementing it in our daily lives. Now, the ball is in your court. We have another 5 more minutes. If you have any specific questions, please let us know. And whatever can be answered within this podium, I will try to answer. Whichever will demand an extra explanation, we will try to take it offline. Is this expectation clear, my friends and fellow entrepreneurs? Is it clear until now, my friends? I hope you found the session useful. Please tell me, Shankar sir.
Shesh, I'm Shankar here. I had one question. So, in today's world, risk management, every organization have some or other way of planning and managing risk. So, how this enterprise risk management is different from a normal layman's risk management process?
Very good question, sir. See, risk management is something that is a natural activity in progress at your lower level project or a program or at a portfolio level. Now, if this initiative is spearheaded not only at the project level, but also at the business unit and at the corporate governance level, where the management is interested in understanding how are we understanding and coping with the uncertainties, that kind of an initiative or a handshake from the lower up, higher up, is what you call as enterprise risk management. This risk management is what you have as a conceptual level at a bottom phrase of understanding. But from something that is going to come as a handshake from the leadership, where I buy your decision, you buy my decision, and I listen to you, you listen to me, we collaboratively understand to get the uncertainties out of our radar, is what you call as enterprise risk management.
So, it's basically coming up with something where the entire organization, including the top management, is involved, right?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
How do they manage the risk aspects? Because in all other cases, a continuous product and things like that are a continuous project. We have mitigation plans and things like that which gets implemented immediately.
Okay.
But then in case of things like your Chandrayaan project and all those things, there is no mitigation plan as such, right? It has to get implemented. Whatever mitigation plan you are having in your mind has to get immediately kind of implemented. There is no other second chance there. Unless whether you're going for Chandrayaan 2 and Chandrayaan 3 and things like that.
Okay. To answer your question, Sripati ji, this topic on project selection criteria and mitigation plan is actually an extension of the core topic of risk management. I have not covered that as a part of this topic itself. This session itself is aimed at just talking about the fundamentals of risk management. I have not got.
No, I knew that because you gave an example of your Chandrayaan and things like that. I was wondering really how do they manage this?
Yes.
Actually, I know that it is a very difficult question. I'm able to trying to figure out how do they really manage.
It's a very large process. I think within the next
very large process, yeah.
Very large process. I may not be able to explain that to you in the next 2 or 3 minutes itself.
Fine. No, just leave it as that. I think we'll go offline.
I will talk about this to you offline because I've been part of that session on how we designed a prototype.
Definitely.
I will talk to you about how this prototyping and rapid prototyping is done. How are you actually ensuring that the overall design considerations are fast tracked to ensure that the overall outcomes are taken. By the way, this Chandrayaan and Mangalyaan programs were about projects which were long spanning projects, 17 or 18 years conceptual phase.
Yeah, fine. Just leave it at that. We'll discuss offline.
We'll talk about this law.
And I was talking about managing time. That is actually the delivery time. for a particular project,
Okay.
the more fineness is there in terms of managing risks at the micro level,
Yes,
the
sir.
better are the chances of delivering the project on time.
Thank
Is
you.
what I meant.
Thank you so
Risk
much.
management is directly proportional at the micro level. The more you manage at the micro level,
Exactly.
definitely you are not overshooting. It was my contention.
True, sir. True, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable feedback, sir. Thank you so much.
Right, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Do any of my other friends have any questions, please? And by the way, please share your email IDs to the MSME forum. We may want to stay in touch for any other conferences or discussions. And if there be any other requirements where you may want to share a topic where I would want to present, or if I would like to discuss from you and learn from you, it would be an exciting place by which I can reach out to you. You can reach out to me, and these are my contact details. You may want to connect with me on LinkedIn. These are my Twitter handles and my Facebook handles. And those are my contact details. Thank you so much, Shivaram.
So correct me if I am wrong. Program management is nothing but handling many projects at a time.
Yes.
Where the program manager handles many projects,
Yep.
or many project managers are reporting to the program manager.
Program manager.
Am I right in my understanding?
Yes, you are right. And the scope of program management is different from scope of project management.
I know that. I know. Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. And by the way, one of the participants, Mr. Shivaram, is also one of my mentors. So I really want to thank him for the suggestions, and he inspired me a lot to think about this from the early stages. And I really want to thank each and every one of you for having given an opportunity as well. Thank you so much, my friends. Thank you so much, Shivaram, and thanks for all the help and support rendered. And special thanks to the MSME Forum for having hosted this meet at a very short notice. I really look forward to sharing more knowledge. And if there are any forums by which I think I can learn, I will definitely want to reach out to you by which there is a collaborative handshake in either of us.
At the business level, people talk about the VUCA analysis as such: volatility, uncertainty,
Hmm.
complexity, and also ambiguity.
Yes, sir.
Where does this fit in? VUCA is at a higher level, or risk management is a part of VUCA as such?
So those are I would want to get that as a part of Agile project initiative, which I have definitely not covered in this. These are all very specific and very deep topics. Intentionally, I did not cover any of those areas.
Okay, okay.
Because if I talk about it, I can go about that for the next 2 weeks. There's a depth
Mm,
of information in that. So it will become very
okay,
difficult for me to. It will become very difficult for us to control that.
okay, right.
Thank you so
Okay,
much, sir.
thank you.
Thank you so
We'll
much.
discuss.
Yeah, and can we go ahead and close this? Each of my friends. I hope you found this session reasonably good. To the best of my capability, I have delivered this topic. I really look forward to listening to your feedback to ensure that we build in a cycle of continuous improvement and deliver value as we go down the line. I want to thank the MSME Forum, the participants, and all the other fellow entrepreneurs for having given this. Thank you so much, MSME Forum fellows. Thank you so much, Shankarji.